When a sovereign nation decides it wants its gold reserves back from a foreign vault, it enters a logistical nightmare of security and transport. You are dealing with massive physical weight and the incredible risk of moving national wealth in public view. Germany recently spent years grinding through a messy, multi-year and highly political effort just to retrieve its own gold from the Federal Reserve in New York. Yet the Banque de France just successfully pulled 129 tons of gold out of the United States and deposited it into a secure underground vault in Paris. France accomplished this massive transfer without moving a single boat, plane, or armored truck across the Atlantic. Not only did they avoid the massive transportation and insurance fees associated with a physical move, they actually generated a €13 billion profit in the process. How do you essentially teleport 129 tons of sovereign wealth across an ocean? And why is a founding NATO ally rushing to do this right now? The setup was a matter of technical compliance. The Banque de France realized its gold in New York consisted of older, non-standard legacy bars that needed upgrading to meet modern purity standards. This chart shows gold prices in New York reaching all-time highs. France used this peak to quietly sell older bars for US dollars. When prices dipped in Europe, they used those dollars to purchase modern, 99.5% pure gold bars closer to home. The nation's total gold reserve weight remained identical at 2,437 tons, but the upgraded asset was now physically located on European soil. Because no physical gold was ever officially withdrawn from the Federal Reserve's custody, there was zero American diplomatic pushback. This timed arbitrage flipped the French central bank's annual €7.7 billion loss into an €8.1 billion profit. This was a perfectly executed declaration of financial independence from American oversight. France executed a much louder version of this strategy in the 1960s under President Charles de Gaulle. De Gaulle watched the U.S. print excessive dollars to fund its deficits and realized the post-war Bretton Woods financial system was unsustainable. In Operation Vide Gousset, de Gaulle aggressively demanded physical gold from America and shipped over 3,300 tons back to Paris. The operation relied on a constant rotation of naval ships and cargo planes to physically drain the New York Fed. De Gaulle's suspicion proved correct. In 1971, President Nixon officially decoupled the dollar from gold, destroying the system. Countries that trusted the U.S. and held dollars lost 96% of their purchasing power against gold, proving France's historical mistrust was a highly profitable survival strategy. France publicly describes its modern €13 billion arbitrage as a technical upgrade, but the geopolitical reality suggests a deeper motive. The turning point arrived in 2022, when Western powers froze $300 billion in Russian sovereign reserves. This move signaled to every central bank in the world that assets held within the U.S. financial system can be weaponized or erased overnight. We are now seeing a synchronized rush by nations to hoard physical gold strictly within their own sovereign borders. China has purchased gold for 16 consecutive months while dumping U.S. treasuries, and India has repatriated massive amounts of bullion to its domestic vaults. Even deeply entrenched U.S. allies are now quietly pulling their assets home, signaling preparation for a deeply fragmented world order. Gold now functions as sovereign insurance, a physical fortress for national wealth, as central banks prepare for a world where financial trust is no longer a given.